All right, on the home stretch of this deliverable, just two more things to do. One thing I want to quickly mention in this tutorial is this bottom set of controls. A lot of these have to do with object snapping or grid snapping. For example, you can restrict the cursor to move orthogonally. And that just means, for example, if you create a polyline, when you make it, it only snaps to 90-degree angles. That's helpful sometimes, but in general, I'll keep it off. There's a similar one for any kind of angle. The most important control down here is this one, though, called snap cursor to reference points. If you open this and open the snap settings, you can see all of these different settings to snap on. Endpoints, midpoint, centers. If you are ever trying to get a line or an object to be in not a quote-unquote easy spot, then I would check here first, and I would turn that off by either pressing the button or pressing F3. That does it as well. And on the flip side, if you're ever like, wow, I want my objects to completely align, I want it to hit the midpoint, I want it to hit the center, I want it to snap exactly to the corner or be exactly perpendicular, turn these on. This will save you so much time, both in turning it on and turning it off when making your design. And it really makes things more precise and easy to navigate in. So just keep that in mind. And you'll see me pressing F3 a lot through this tutorial. Hopefully I'll remember to mention when I do. All right, now to get to the main point of this tutorial being the plan sheets. Plan sheets are how engineers communicate their designs. We don't use blueprints in civil engineering, but we do use plan sheets, which are effectively the same thing, just not blue with a grid on the back. So in a previous video, I mentioned these layout tabs, and while they're great, they're kind of hard to use and don't have the template that we want. You can keep them there or delete them, either is fine. And instead, we're going to create our own. So you can do this by right-clicking the Model tab and clicking from Template. This will pull up a bunch of preset Civil 3D templates here, and we're going to look for the one called Civil Imperial Sheets. So we're just going to look for that sheet style here. I believe it's under Sheet Sets. There it is, Civil Imperial. You can see a preview of what that looks like here. We're just going to click Open, select the layout, and hit OK. On this bottom tab, you can now see your model and all the plan sheets you make. I'll just navigate here, and I'm just going to quickly right-click this and rename it to CAD Drawing Tools. You'll notice now that we're in the paper space instead of the model space. The paper space is where all of your plan sheets live, and the model space is where your actual design is. So I'm just going to hit Zoom and Extends here. That way it zooms in the paper space. And you can see a couple things about this plan sheet. It mentions what file it comes from, the date, or a date. It has project values, date, scales, a sheet number, and you can really put a lot of information here. You can put the firm you work for, names, addresses, revisions, and this is also where, when you are a practicing engineer, you'll put your actual PE stamp as well, somewhere here. Again, just going to do Zoom Extends back here, but we need to add the model space into this plan sheet. So the way to do that is through this Layout tab here. You can insert a rectangular view or clip view. I'm just going to click Insert View, and that brings me into the model space. And I want to select, that was one single left click, and this is me just dragging my mouse, not holding anything, and another single left click on the bottom right corner. I just want to include all of those drawing objects that I made for the assignment. So I'll click that and hit Enter, and you can see it allows me to place it in here. But it's looking pretty small, so I'm just going to expand this box really quickly. You'll notice that the model space doesn't really expand, though. It expands the viewport of it, but not the scale. Two ways you can change that scale are this drop down here. You can change the scale based off presets. So for example, if I want to zoom in a little bit, the other thing you can do is use the scale option down here. You'll notice right now, though, that you cannot select it. If you can't select it, that's because the viewport lock is on. So I just unlock it, then I can select a different scale. And what this allows me to do now, if I'm selecting the space, which I'm not, so I can select this space. Sorry. I need to select this big box and double click into it. Now you can see I'm in the model space, is I can zoom in and out here, and I can use my middle cursor to pan. So there's going to be things off the page sometimes. That's totally okay. None of that's going to get included in your file, just the page itself. So this looks good to me. It's a good scale, takes up most of the page, shows all of the objects I used pretty clearly. And so I'm just going to hit enter, and I'll go back into Zoom Extents. Oh, I'm still in the model space. You can see how that could be kind of hard to work with. I need to change my scale down here. That looks good. I'm going to click out of the model space. Now that I'm in the paper space, I'll zoom in to what I would actually see, and this looks pretty good to me. So that was just a great demonstration of how Civil 3D can be kind of clunky to use. It might not always do what you expect it to do, but really just check all of those bare bone things, the controls you're using, the space you're in, the UI that you're using. All of these are great things to look at. So you're going to make a plan sheet showing all of the tools you're using. If you need to make more than one, that's totally okay. To export these, you can just click on the sheet and click plot. When you click plot, this pop-up will show up, and you can add a name to your page if you need it. And instead of printing to a printer, just print to a PDF. You can leave pretty much all of these options without touching them and just hit OK. And now I'm going to navigate back to that Civil 3D file that I have. Mine's kind of buried, project tutorial. And in here, I'm going to create a new file so things are more organized. So I'll use this button, and I'm going to call this drawing sheets, and I will save this in there. So I'm just going to call this 1B CAD drawing tools. I don't need that name twice. Now you can see it's plotting, and now it's going to open up in a PDF, and you can see exactly what that looks like here. Looks pretty good to me. It looks like the hatch pattern didn't come out exactly the way I would have intended it to without zooming in a lot, so maybe I need to make that scale even bigger. But other than that, this looks great to me. And so just do the same thing here. If you need to make multiple, and either submit this as multiple PDFs or even better, combine them into one PDF.